multiple unions are teaming up to take on Amazon. As we know, Amazon has been very, very effective at dodging any attempts of unionization. They've been really effective of convincing workers that unionizing isn't in their interest.
Okay.
They've done a very good job at that. But in 2022, a union made history. In 2022, Staten Island, Amazon workers became the first warehouse plant to form a union. The vote was in favor, but it wasn't overwhelmingly in favor. It was 2,600 in favor of the union, 2,100 against the union.
Okay.
But what was so interesting about this election back in 2022 was it was an independent union. It was a new union called the Amazon Labor Union.
Okay.
It was outside of this thing of the unions that you and I might recognize. It was outside of the UAW, outside of the SEIU, outside of the Teamsters.
Yep.
It was an independent thing. It was led by a man named Christian Smalls, and Christian Smalls led a walkout protest during the pandemic, got fired for it, became very popular around that, and then led the Amazon Labor Union.
Do you know why they decided to make their own union instead of joining one of the established ones?
Christian Smalls said that the only way to convince the workers was to have an independent union outside of any large organization.
I guess I get that. Like
his thought process was like people think, oh, the unions are corrupt.
Yeah.
And they don't want to join a union because they're all corrupt and
Yeah.
run bureaucratically, and so that was his thought process. So that 2022 vote, while successful, hasn't resulted in anything meaningful for the workers yet.
Okay.
So Amazon has still refused to recognize the union and has not begun bargaining. Amazon has filed multiple lawsuits, lawsuit after lawsuit, legal fight after legal fight, trying their best to disband the union and throw out the union. Now, the legal battles that have gone on have basically depleted the cash reserves of the Amazon Labor Union.
Sure.
They're totally broke. And on top of that, they've also lost all internal cohesion. Because now there's infighting going on. Everyone's mad that progress hasn't been made.
Yeah.
People are blaming each other. And so this independent organization that was growing from the grounds up is kind of petering out.
Okay.
And if it doesn't gain more backup, it might not have a future. So the Amazon Labor Union is, in fact, getting that backup. The Teamsters are going to lend financial and organizational resources to the Amazon Labor Union in an announcement that these two put out on Tuesday. So this has happened starting in Kentucky. The Teamsters are joining forces with Amazon workers at an air hub in Kentucky, which is pushing to unionize a transportation nerve center at the heart of companies' fast shipping.
Okay.
So the Teamsters are doing work over in Kentucky to help the Amazon workers unionize there. Now they're going to lend some organizational and financial support to the Amazon Labor Union in Staten Island. And so this is a good, obviously a good move for labor rights generally.
Sure.
Because the Teamsters are going to have the resources to back up the ALU, the Amazon Labor Union.
Which to me, it goes to show that the Amazon Labor Union probably just should have joined with the Teamsters in the first place.
Right. My notes here says, was the theory of Amazon Labor Union totally wrong?
Yeah.
And I think the answer is yes.
I think so too. When you're fighting against the biggest companies in the world, you need scale behind your punches.
Yes,
right?
You need scale, you need history, you need that experience.
Yes.
And so it was like throwing the baby out with the bathwater from my perspective.
Sure.
And it's just unfortunate. But what is good is that there's another possible union vote happening in Bessemer, Alabama. Bessemer, Alabama, Amazon union plant has failed to unionize twice before.
Okay.
They're on round 3. As we know, a couple of these union votes, third time's a lot of the time to be the charm.
Oh, is that true?
Happens with the UAW, that Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Right.
That was third time's the charm.
Okay.
Right. So sometimes it takes some time to get the workers acclimated to voting for it.
Yeah. I wondered about the timing right now because I feel like labor doesn't have a ton of momentum.
I don't know.
I mean, maybe the momentum won't matter, but for trying to unionize a plant that has failed twice, it would help if there was kind of a cultural phenomenon that was around it right now. We haven't had any news about the UAW, big news about the UAW recently.
No.
Like the Hollywood writers' strikes are long over.
Yeah.
Hopefully this can go through though.
I mean, it takes time. All this stuff takes time. But what the main takeaway is, the Teamsters are teaming up with the ALU. It's going to be harder and harder for Amazon to resist labor. And again, this is something that we talk about all the time, is the importance of labor rights. If you go on our channel and you look up for videos about unions, we have long histories about the videos about histories of the UAW, histories of unions in America, the benefits of unions, where we read research papers talking about the economic effects. We've done all this work. And you should really go watch it if you're interested in learning more about how unions are beneficial for an economy. So I hope they spread to Amazon.